Good morning, everybody. Mel Soul here on Monday, the 29th of January, and it is at 11:46 a.m. So I'm doing the Monday and it is because we wanted to watch the playoff between Jason Day and Alex Noren before I shot my Monday rewind, and it was over pretty quickly. Alex Noren, going for the green in two, hit a great shot from 250 yards out, carried the water, but just hit into, trickled back into the water. Jason Day then laid up. I think he would have laid up anyway. He was in the rough on the right, and I think even if Alex Noren had hit that ball on the green, he would still have laid up, because I don't think he would have got to the green. But he laid up, but then he played a beautiful little pitch to seal the deal to seal the beat of the hole. Beautiful distance control, because the pin sitting on the front of the green, I guarantee you in the back of your mind you're thinking, okay, don't spin it too much and make it come back into the water with Alex Noren, because then my third shot's in the water and Alex Noren's second shot's in the water, he would have a stroke advantage. So I think it was a brave shot to hit it just past the flag and spin it back really close to the hole to close the deal. So congratulations to Jason Day. But there's two big stories I want to talk about for the tournament this week. Farmers Insurance Open, played at Torrey Pines. Hard golf course. It played hard the whole week, and a friend with Tiger coming back on a really hard golf course was a good idea. And I give Tiger an A- overall. I give him an A+ on his short game. I mean, this guy's short game has always been great, and he just showed that it's still there. This guy's short game is only. But his tee to green was like a D. I mean, he hit the ball all over the golf course. His irons, he missed a lot of greens. If he hadn't had his short game, I think he wouldn't have broken 80, and he certainly wouldn't have made the cut. I made a prediction last week that Tiger would finish in the top 10, and I was off by 3 shots. If Tiger had shot, he would have finished in the top 10. In fact, he would have finished in the top 8. But he finished on 3 under par, which gave him 21st spot, I think. So he did finish, well. He finished in the top 25. Considering he's been off for a year and a half, an overall rating of a B- is not bad at all. He made an amazing prediction when he was being interviewed after the round, so it's hindsight, but he said that before he teed off, he felt like if he could shoot a 65, he'd get into a playoff. Well, guess what, folks? A 65 would have given him a -10. He was a 65 is 7 under. He was 3 under. It would have put him on 10 under. He would have got in the playoff with a 65. And I can tell you this: if he'd driven the ball on the fairway, there's a very, very good chance that he could have scored 65. Tiger's never driven the ball well throughout his whole career. He's never been a great driver of the golf ball, but because he hits it so far, even though he's offline, he's using shorter clubs into the green. So, I think he needs to hit a few more fairways, but he's really got to dial the irons in. He was hitting, when he did hit a green, he was 40 foot, 35 foot from the hole. He occasionally hit one close, and then of course he made the putt, but he wasn't doing that often enough to score well. So Tiger plays again in 2 weeks' time at Riviera. I don't think Tiger has ever won there, so not one of his favorite golf courses, but he is such an exciting player to watch that I'm certainly looking forward to it. The other story was a story that I don't really like bringing up, but I feel like I have to, and that is JB Holmes. So everybody gave JB Holmes, a hard time. He took 4 minutes 10 seconds to play his second shot, and then eventually, he needed an eagle on the last hole to get into a playoff. And he stood there and he pulled a club and he put it back, and then he pulled an iron out and he put it back. Meanwhile, Alex Noren, who's on -10 and maybe needing a birdie to win, is standing over there waiting. I think the right thing to do, if JB couldn't make up his mind was to say, to Alex, if you want to go ahead and play, go ahead. I can't make up my mind. He was in a difficult position, and my other instructor, David Olberding, kind of pointed it out to me this morning that, a player is usually given about 15 minutes to finish a hole. Did they finish that hole in 15 minutes? In that case, he's still within his rights to take that time. It's a good way of looking at it, but he did take a long time over that one shot, and then he ended up taking out a wedge to lay up. The thing that annoyed me out of all of that was he then had 7 practice swings with a wedge. These guys are the best players in the world. Take out a wedge, put it behind, hit it down the fairway, and go and play. He took 7 practice swings, and then he hit a horrible shot into the rough and couldn't pitch it close to the hole, and ended up making a 5 and missing the playoff by 2 shots. So here's my solution. I don't think it'll ever be implemented, but the same as we have in football, we have a clock and a play clock. You've got to make that play. The quarterback's got to make the play. Have a 2-minute shot clock on the PGA Tour. When the player arrives at his ball, the clock starts. He has 2 minutes to discuss, do whatever practice swings he wants, and then set up and hit the shot. When the club face hits the ball, the clock stops. So if he goes over that time, 1-stroke penalty. I think in the beginning there would be some complaints, particularly from the slow players, but after about 6 months everybody would be playing, and we'd at least finish the round in under 6 hours, which they played, which I think is ridiculous. LPGA, Brittany Lincicome played in the Pure Silk Bahamas LPGA Classic, and they finished in the dark. They had high winds. They've always been plagued with weather problems in the Bahamas there. They had rain in some years where they had to cancel. So they played in very high winds. Round 1 had to be cancelled. They turned it into a 54-hole tournament. They finished the last tournament. Brittany Lincicome actually sprinted down the last hole to try and get the round finished so they could finish on the day. And she birdied in the dark. She birdied 3 of the last 4 holes to win by 2. So congratulations to her, certainly a well-deserved victory. European Tour, Lee Haotong and Rory McIlroy teed off. Lee Haotong was 1 stroke ahead of Rory, and I think what annoyed me the most was watching the commentator at the beginning automatically assuming that Rory McIlroy was going to win. Well, Rory's going to win, and Rory's going to take the trophy, and Rory's going to do this. And I'm sitting at home going, come on guys, there's other people in the field, and there's actually a player in front of him that the previous day showed no signs of intimidation from Rory and actually played better than Rory in the 3rd round. And then there was a couple of other good players, including South African Hayden Porteous, another stroke behind. These guys are good players. I hate it when they pick one guy that's definitely going to win. So I loved it when Lee Haotong birdied the last hole. He had to lay up because he hit his drive in the rough. He hit a beautiful little pitch to 6 feet. Rory had hit it on the green into 2-putted for a birdie, and Lee Haotong got up and knocked the putt in the hole to be the first Asian to win that tournament. So congratulations to Lee. I think that's going to boost his confidence. The last 2 years ago, the winner of the Dubai Desert Classic won the Masters. Last year, the winner of the Dubai Desert Classic won the Masters. This year is Lee Haotong, the dark horse for the Masters. He's certainly looking forward to playing for the first time. So that's going to be interesting. Next week, PGA, the most fun tournament of the year, Waste Management Classic. A lot of yelling and screaming going on. It's a tournament I think I would like to go to one year and go and sit at that 16th hole and just enjoy, just soak up the fun. It looks great. The European Tour plays the Maybank Championship in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. The LPGA is off for the week. Their next tournament is in Australia for the Australian Women's Open. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Trouble Shot Tuesday. Interesting shot.